Here we go again. Here we go again. Another legend is departing the sinking woke Titanic known as ESPN. It was announced earlier this week that the network is going to cut ties with Kenny Mayne, one of the last of what I call a dying breed over at ESPN. Kenny Mayne has been with ESPN since the mid 90s. He was he was what I would call one of the model personalities at the network. He never delved into politics. He was always funny when he hosted Sports Center. He was good. He was entertaining. That last word, entertaining. That's hard to find in 2021 on ESPN. Now, Kenny Mayne is supposed to work through the end of the month, finish out his contract, but considering the details that he released this week regarding his contract negotiations, I don't know if that's going to happen. I imagine the executives over at ESPN, they can't be too happy with Kenny Mayne releasing the details of their negotiations. According to The Athletic, who spoke directly with Kenny Mayne, the network approached him on a new contract and wanted to cut his salary by 61%. They also wanted to cut his workload or his airtime by 14%. So you want to pay me 61% less, but only cut my workload by 14%. Obviously, this was a ploy by ESPN to part ways with Kenny Mayne. They knew going in that there was no way in hell he was going to agree to those terms, which is something that really bothers me. It pisses me off with ESPN and corporate America in general. If you want to part ways with somebody, why not just be upfront? Why not just be honest and tell them, hey, thanks for the 27 years of service, but we're going to move in a different direction. That's all it would take. Is that so difficult? Instead, you go into negotiations, not in good faith, and you insult one of your best on-air personalities with a garbage offer. Now, Kenny Mayne has class, so he is not trashing ESPN on his way out. So today, I'm going to do that for him. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell you that ESPN's in financial peril. I mean, they're owned by Disney, who obviously has deep pockets, but I will speculate to the fact that the money is not pouring into ESPN like it has throughout my lifetime. I have never seen departures to the level that we've seen at ESPN the last 2 or 3 years. It seems like every 2 or 3 months, the network is losing another high-profile talent. Just in the last few months, they've lost Dan Le Batard, which I didn't mind seeing him go. Dan Le Batard was woke before being woke was cool. They've lost Trey Wingo, Ivan Maisel, Mike Golick, Will Kane. Besides Dan Le Batard, I liked all those guys. If ESPN is going to have budget cuts, if they're going to have to get rid of on-air talent to save money, why are they getting rid of the non-controversial, entertaining guys? ESPN, if you want to save money, get rid of Max Kellerman. The ratings for First Take are abysmal. I know Max Kellerman is supposedly real popular in New York and Los Angeles, but there is a whole lot of people in the rest of the country that find him to be revolting. With all his wokeness and his apologies for being white, God, I really don't like Max Kellerman. Or you could get rid of a guy like Dominique Foxworth, another woker who has zero impact on television ratings. No one would be sad to see him go. Instead, every time ESPN parts ways with on-air talent, it's always the good guys that seem to get let go, which seems so counterintuitive. Those of you who are close to my age will understand what I'm about to say. For the 25% of my audience that are in their early 20s, this might be news to you, but ESPN used to be culturally relevant. And what I mean by that, they used to have on-air personalities that crossed over into the mainstream. Stuart Scott crossed over into the mainstream. I can still remember some of his corny one-liners he used to say every night on SportsCenter, like, cool as the other side of the pillow. Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann, mainstream. Rich Eisen, Aaron Andrews, Robin Roberts, Colin Cowherd. These are just off the top of my head. Who is mainstream at ESPN in 2021? Stephen A. Smith? Maybe Scott Van Pelt? But I don't think Scott Van Pelt is known outside the sports world. Who else? My point is, ESPN doesn't have the impact on sports culture that it's had in the past. I think a lot of this can be contributed to the network's decision to go woke. Numbers don't lie. Ratings don't lie. This is not a coincidence. You look at television ratings for both ESPN and the NBA since they decided to go woke, and the ratings have steadily declined, both on TV and radio. ESPN radio used to be a juggernaut. Every major and semi-major market in the country had ESPN radio affiliates. You never hear about ESPN radio anymore. I can't name one show they have on the air. Go back 15 years ago, it was Greeny and Golick in the morning, then Cowherd, then Dan Patrick. Who the hell is even on ESPN radio today? I couldn't tell you. Ratings for ESPN radio obviously are in the tank. They debuted a new lineup towards the end of last summer. It was so popular that ratings were down 53% over 2019. Now, of course, they blamed the pandemic. People weren't in their cars as much to listen to the radio. And look, I'm sure that probably had something to do with it. The ratings, though, the ratings would have been down for ESPN radio regardless. Was it also the pandemic's fault that ratings for SportsCenter and ESPN as a whole hit 40-year lows last summer? If people weren't in their cars on the road, they had to be at home, right? Well, if everyone was at home last summer, they damn sure weren't watching ESPN. You know what one of the more popular shows on ESPN radio was? The Will Cain Show. Back in 2019, Will Cain's ratings were up 18% overall, and he was up triple digits on terrestrial radio. Now, why do I bring that up? Because Will Cain was one of the only non-woke voices on ESPN radio and television. I just thought it was interesting. All the shows featuring wokers like Max Kellerman, Dominique Foxworth, they're in decline. And one of the only shows that featured a host that actually has common sense and wasn't bowing to the woke community saw triple-digit ratings increases. ESPN can't rely on Will Cain anymore. He's gone. The truth is, ESPN has lost its ability to create stars. They don't have the formula anymore. It's kind of similar to what's happened to Vince McMahon and the WWE over the last 10 or so years. Vince McMahon used to have this innate ability to turn someone into a superstar. Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Who was the last real star that Vince McMahon has created? You got to go all the way back to John Cena. That was almost 20 years ago. Can any of you guys name one real superstar in the WWE today? It's the same thing with ESPN. ESPN used to take small-time sports journalists and turn them into national superstars. Who was the last star ESPN created? The last one they really pushed was Bomani Jones. You remember him? They pushed that dude to the moon. Bumped the lunchtime sports center to make room for his new show High Noon. It flopped. Gave him a show on ESPN radio. It flopped. The ratings for him were so bad that ESPN lost 90 affiliates. They've tried making Mina Kimes a star. Hasn't worked. Marcus Spears hasn't worked. Malika Andrews hasn't worked. Like I said earlier, Kenny Mayne was the last of a dying breed at ESPN. The last of a generation of stars. I don't know if the network will ever have the cultural impact that it's had in the past. I think they have turned off too many people with their wokeness. I made a video a while back talking about the fact that one day, ESPN could cease to exist. Now, obviously, we aren't close to that happening right now, but it could happen eventually. Television is a star-driven business. It's as simple as that. If you don't have stars, you can't survive. People won't watch. And right now, besides Stephen A., ESPN doesn't have any stars. All right, time to let me know your thoughts. Do you guys still watch ESPN, first of all? If you've quit watching, tell me why. With ESPN parting ways with Kenny Mayne and the long list of other on-air talent that they've lost recently, do you believe that ESPN is in trouble? Maybe not financially, but as far as cultural impact goes, are they in trouble? Let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.